Hey y'all. Good morning, afternoon, if you're on the other side of the coast. I hope you're all feeling great. We're going to start off with a little bit of music just to see if my notifications will go up. Feeling sleazy. I wonder why I chose this one today. Hold on. Guys, easy. All right. I just had to put that out there because this is a little creepy. All right. Hey, everybody. Hold on. Let me get up here. I need to go take some ibuprofen. Sassy, Crazy Nurse, Beaverhausen, Grandma Sherry, Marie. Y'all, this guy is creep to the high heavens. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna run and take some ibuprofen right quick. I'll leave you with the rest of that song. Actually, I'll put it on this one. Okay, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna go take some ibuprofen. My neck is killing me. There's my buddy. Of course he's present and ready to go today. All right, how are you guys? Ready to get into this? Hey, Britt. Hey, Elle. Hey, Peg, Susan. Let's be honest. A blank slate. Okay, so some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. So perfect cat music, right? He's found himself a spot to sit. Crazy cat. Okay, so I don't really have to do a whole lot of like deep dive on this one. That's why we're just going to kind of skirt over this subject a little bit, but we're going to start here. So Dr. Kenny has been making headlines. This is Dr. Kenneth Wilstead. He is from Texas. Excuse me. Dr. Kenneth Wilstead, making America smile again, according to his LinkedIn. Of course, I'm not on LinkedIn, so it says for 9 years, I have been learning how to become the kind of dentist that can truly help people. I have made it to a point to learn all the areas of dentistry at a level that is rarely seen, and I love being able to offer each option equally and at a price that is fair to everyone. I have a huge passion for giving an experience that is different than what people would expect. Yeah, you do. That's for sure. It is very laid back approach and can even be confused with unprofessional, which is fine with me. Because the service is where I like to show what I'm really capable of. I'm not a stiff. I like to have fun and keep things light. I communicate well to my patients in a direct fashion that doesn't beat around the bush, but gives it to them straight and in an understandable way. My wife and I have been doing this for 19 years together, and we love showing each patient how much fun going to the dentist can really be. My true passion is recreating smiles. I pride myself in being the kind of dentist that people go to that can fix smiles that no other dentist would touch or even consider being restorable without pulling every tooth and mentioning dentures or implants. While I can also do those options, I truly believe that almost 75% of people's mouths are being given up on or that could have been fixed at an affordable rate. And allow these patients to keep their regular teeth and make them look perfect, be pain free, and smile again with confidence, which is why my new office is named Smile Again Dental. When we get into this, you'll realize how much bullshit this actually is and why that's pretty crazy. So let's go a little bit further in the LinkedIn. So this had been popping up in my feed on TikTok. As you guys know, I like TikTok when I want something mind numbing to do. And there are some great exposure channels on TikTok, honestly. In fact, one of the cases that we're going to be doing on our still missing segments is from TikTok. That's been highlighted on TikTok quite a bit by somebody that was actually involved in the case. And it keeps coming up on my timeline. So I've been following that, and we're going to get into that coming up too. October 18th actually marks the 20th anniversary of this person's missing case, tragic story. So anyways, going forward, TikTok is pretty good. So I have to give credit to TikTok and a lot of TikTokers for this, because they've been in the trenches on this. They have pretty much exposed everything they can, especially a big shout out to an account by the name of Becca Day. We're going to look at some of her stuff today, but I want to make sure everybody understands that this is my opinion. This is my opinion only. This is all under fair use content. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. There are cease and desist going out and threats of lawsuits. Buddy, old pal over there, you got enough of those lawsuits going on currently. I think these probably aren't the ones you want to go into. Anyways, let's keep going. Okay, so as I was hearing about this, hold on, y'all. Kids, as soon as I'm live, they got to come in. Sorry, sis is trying to figure out when I have to be. We have appointments this week, so she has appointments that she needs to do and I need to do. So we're like mixing the car together. Okay. So when I started looking into him, I was like, well, isn't this interesting? So you go to his LinkedIn, Experience Dental Education, Temple University. Okay. Kornberg School of Dentistry, DMD, Advanced General Dentistry from 2006 to 2010. So he's probably been a practicing dentist for about 13 years, give or take. But this is where I kind of got stuck. As you guys know, me and for some reason the LDS have this constant running into each other. So I was like, wow, imagine that. He served a mission from 1998 to 2000, which is a typical length of a mission. And he was a missionary to Guatemala. For 2 years, I taught the wonderful people of Guatemala the gospel and helped them grow in ways of our Savior and learn to be closer to him and learn his teachings to help us return to his presence and be happier here on earth. All right, whatever. It's kind of funny because he taught the people of Guatemala about the gospel, yet he's teaching his patients about SA. Oh, I mean, hey, allegedly. Everything's allegedly. I don't know anything that's fact. I'm just a YouTuber with a voice and a mouse that can click buttons. He speaks Spanish, of course, because he was a missionary to Guatemala. Okay, let's continue on. Hey, everybody coming in. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Right? It's a Jeep thing. I know. I was shocked that he was LDS or had LDS affiliations. I was like, wait, hey, love is a 4-letter word. It's not the gospel. Yes. SA is not in the gospel. But taking it back to Joseph Smith, I mean, hey, I guess they learned, a lot of these men learned real prominently from Mr. Joseph Smith himself, right? So I guess there's that. So now that we looked at his LinkedIn and you can see his own affiliations, that he has LDS ties, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So the next thing I want to credit is Reddit. I'm not a big Reddit. Well, I do like go to Reddit for certain things, but sometimes it gets to be a little deep for me. So let me see. And there's some of this that we're going to skip over, but I'm going to open here. So Dr. Kenny Smiles, how he became started making headlines was he partnered up with a big TikToker by the name of Mama Tot. She goes by Mama Tot. Mama Tot lost her son last year tragically in a gun violence incident. She is a multi-million dollar or multi-million creator. Like, she has millions of followers. I think it's up over 13 million. But she partnered up. So Dr. Kenny chose to try and get attention of Mama Tot. And what he did was he offered to redo her teeth because she was talking about her horrible experience with the dentist. So he had a smaller TikTok channel at the time, and he decided to try and get a hold of Mama Tot. Well, he eventually did get a hold of Mama Tot and offered to do her smile. She declined. She said, I'm good. I have dental insurance. I can afford to go get my teeth done. Please give it to somebody that deserves it, that needs it. Please help somebody else. So we're not doing that today, please. Please with the politics, please don't. But he decided to pick 3 people from Mama Tot. So he started this giveaway type thing of helping 3 followers of Mama Tots, right? So they set up this giveaway, and these aren't like one sitting type of implants. These are multiple times. So they picked their 3 winners. The 3 winners went and had interaction with Dr. Kenny. Well, Dr. Kenny gets a little egregious. When messaging with patients, he has a tendency of overstepping boundaries. It came out recently that the way he was messaging patients and potential winners of these giveaways and things was completely disrespectful. And, well, let's just look at some of them. Oh, hold on.
Dentist that you may have heard some buzz around recently, and that is Dr. Kenny Smiles, aka Dr. Kenneth Wilstead. From the looks of his social media, you would never guess that this man is a predator with a lengthy criminal record. Kenneth has utilized his social media to advertise his cosmetic dentistry services, which include veneers and crowns, which have become very popular amongst social media creators and celebrities.
This is Becca Day on TikTok. We skipped over Reddit for a minute because a lot of them are similar posted. Please go, if you're a TikTok follower, this is, again, Becca Day. She did get a cease and desist from Dr. Kenny's attorney, so on and so forth. So I don't know how much she'll be talking about it from here on out, but she has done an incredible deep dive. She's got like a 38-part series on this. We're going to skip through some of it. We're going to do a 2-part series on him because there's just too much to highlight, and I want to keep it short and to the point, but I'll let her continue. Now, she's just laying the ground rules or the groundwork here. And she is making claims as far as a long criminal history, egregious behavior. I have all the court documents. I have the court documents. He has had issues. He's been in front of the board multiple times. I've got it all. So these aren't just allegations. There is fact basis behind a lot of this.
Utilizing social media is very common for an array of different businesses to bring in more customers. There are even quite a few cosmetic dentists on social media. Dr. Kenny is most certainly not the only one. So first, I want to give you a little background on who Dr. Kenneth Wilstead really is, and then we will get into why he has been such a topic of conversation recently. Kenneth Wilstead is a dentist, a husband, a father of 3 adult children, and a grandfather to 1. Kenneth and his family reside in Texas, and his business is specifically in Garland, Texas. Before becoming a dentist, Kenneth was a missionary for the Mormon Church from 1998 to 2000. According to his LinkedIn, he is still a practicing member of the Mormon Church. Kenneth.
Shocker. However, if you think back for a little bit, when we were just talking about the Tim Ballard stuff and the excommunication, when we went over the reasons why people are excommunicated, this type of behavior would absolutely be on the immoral list of things that people do get excommunicated for. So I would love to know, again, the Mormon Church is not transparent of anything. So I would like to know what his actual standing is within the Mormon Church still, because if he hasn't been excommunicated, I don't know. Seems a little interesting to me, but you can decide what you think there. Let's continue to let her go. Please go check her out on TikTok. She has done incredible work, like made this super easy. There is a few things that I'm like, we're going to skip over because it's pretty hefty allegations, but the stuff that I can vet, we're going to do.
Attended Temple University from 2006 to 2010, where he received his DMD in Advanced General Dentistry. Kenneth has been married to his wife, Anna Wilstead, for the past 20 years, and the couple raised 3 children to adulthood together as they were opening their joint dental practice, Smile Again Dental. Smile Again Dental opened their doors in October of 2010 and is still booming with business in present day. One of Dr. Kinney's daughters, Paige, works at his practice as a video filmed by Dr. Kinney went viral a couple years ago, showing Paige saying some very derogatory things and using the N-word.
Not just derogatory, extremely racist, in my opinion. This is his daughter who works at the practice. He's made his booming business. Now, one thing I do have to say is what the teeth and everybody look like afterwards are incredible transformations. He is definitely skilled with what he does. However, there are issues with some of his work too. And there's a lady that had to have surgery because of the implants and stuff that she sucked back into her lungs because of their negligence and so on and so forth. There's a lot that's just kind of steamrolling and coming out right now about this situation, and it's getting worse.
It was my worst subject, if you guys didn't know.
I don't think in the history. Who else besides the Indian? You think if it wasn't the Indian we were fighting? Okay.
Them Daniels. Don't post that. I'll get hate. I also said in the last video you posted. So
That's part of the song.
people, I don't care. I say all the time. It's so bad. And I'm sure you got a lot of black followers. Love you.
Smile Again Dental seems to be operated very unprofessionally and unethically. Screaming matches between Kenneth and his wife Anna have been observed within the office while patients are present.
We're just sitting in one and nobody put it in so
During Corona, neither Kenneth nor Anna abided to the face covering mandate that was going on and required within their dentistry office. They also did not require face coverings and never require face coverings for their employees. In a video I found filmed by Kenneth, Anna is making jokes about the face coverings and the mandates. So she was making face coverings that were mesh.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna make masks. I'm gonna make masks out of this. The lady at the store was like, "What are you making?" And I'm like, "It's probably better you don't ask." And then she was like, this little lady, and she's like, "No, really, like this is all pretty fabric. What are you gonna do with it?" And I'm like, "I'm making masks." And she started laughing. She goes, "Are you serious?" And I go, "Yeah, I really am." I go, "There's no specifications on what we're supposed to make, what they're supposed to be. We just have to have stupid stuff on our face." And I go, "I just think it's kind of a load of shit." I go, "I better shut up." And she started laughing and she goes, "You're not the only one that feels that way." And I go, "I'm even breaking out because I've been wearing masks all day today." And I go, "I have a zit." I'm so excited. So I just want to stick it to him, take away my constitutional right.
In 2014, just 4 years after opening his dental practice, Kenneth was arrested in Texas for fraud, possession, and for overprescribing medications for friends, family, patients, and for himself. The investigation leading up to Dr. Kinney's arrest showed that Dr. Kinney wrote a personal friend a prescription for 800 hydrocodone pills between June 2013 and May 2014. He also often unnecessarily prescribed a sleep agent, and I might be butchering this, zolpidem tartrate in 30-day quantities to his patients. He was also prescribing his dental patients with a weight loss agent called phentermine hydrochloride. Not only was he unnecessarily prescribing a weight loss agent to his dental patients, he was also prescribing it to himself.
All right. So there's the opening to this. Oh, thank you, Elle. I could have done that. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So he's previously been arrested for overprescribing, for prescribing to friends. Now, if you don't understand, like dentists have like a specific kind of wheelhouse that they usually prescribe from, and sleep medication isn't really usually one of them. Pain medication is likely. But for that extensive period of time can get touchy, especially when it's not a patient, it's just a friend of his. You can follow all of that. Just Google his name. All of the court documents will come up. Very easy to look for. But he still has his license, right? You would think, well, he would have probably got suspended for a little while, his prescription privileges, things like that. Interesting enough. Granted, I'm sure he has other people in his practice. I'm sure there's other dentists that have licenses that have ability to do these things because they are working with anesthesia and so on and so forth. Okay, we're going to skip forward. So we're going to go to episode 2 of Becca's. And the reason Becca's done an incredible job laying this all out. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to let her take it off. And then we're going to get to the juicy parts of why we're talking about this right now. Because it kind of fits in with the whole, what we've been dealing with Tim Ballard. Very similar situations. And of course, the church. Of course, there is. All right, ready?
Part 2. Investigators found it strange that Kenneth was prescribing such a strong sleep agent for an extended period of time, but investigators found it to be completely out of the scope of his practice to be prescribing any weight loss agents to any of his cosmetic dental patients. Kenneth was also found to be fraudulently using another dentist's DEA number to quietly acquire more prescriptions for himself.
That's kind of a big deal. Using another doctor's DEA license is like a huge deal, a big ass deal. And the guy still has had a license. Huh? So this is from 2015, the orders that she's showing on screen.
The circumstances leading up to Kenneth's arrest, he also faced multiple reprimands from the Texas State Board of Dentistry. Kenneth was ordered to pay a $1,000 fine, as well as take 18 hours of continued education courses. I am not sure of the legal repercussions that Kenneth ultimately faced in court, but he was eventually able to smooth things over with the board after he completed all of the disciplinary actions he was required to.
So in other words, he got a slap on the hand. He got a slap on the hand and was just continue on. This is out of control.
In 2019, Kenneth found himself in trouble with the board yet again. This time, Kenneth was in trouble for failing to meet the minimum standard of care for one or more of his patients. Kenneth also failed to create and maintain proper record of patient treatment and diagnoses. Kenneth was ordered by the state board to pay a $4,000 fine, as well as take 16 hours of continued education before he could begin working again. The outcome of this was the board ultimately just issued him a warning. But of course, Dr. Kenney could not keep himself out of trouble, and in 2021, he found himself in trouble with the board yet again. This time, he was basically reprimanded for inadequate patient care, as well as not taking note nor treating very obvious tooth decay in multiple patients, as well as his incorrect performance of a root canal. And just
a dentist that can't even dentist. I mean, what are you going to him for? I mean, beautiful smile. I get that. Cosmetic dentistry. I get that. But cosmetic dentists can still do or should be able to perform standard procedures. I would assume they all go to the same school, right? They just kind of, this one specializes in this, just like endodontist and all the different variations. But they know how to do this stuff. I guess he just doesn't do it very well.
Just as a side note, the board stripped Dr. Kenney of his sedation and anesthesia privileges back when he had his first run-in with the board. So this is definitely not the guy you want to go to for a root canal. For this issue, Kenneth was ordered to pay a $5,000 fine to the Texas State Board and receive 9 hours more of continued education. Now that you have
so a little bit more money, a few more classes that he just has to click the boxes through and right back to work.
A general idea of who Dr. Kenney is, let's talk about why he has been the topic of everyone's conversation recently. So Dr. Kenney and his practice opened up an opportunity to his large following on social media for multiple people to receive life-changing dental care when they don't have the resources to pay for it themselves. Sounds amazing. Sounds very virtuous.
Exciting news. We are filming for my new show. I have open auditioning happening right now. If you feel like a new smile would change your life forever, then I want to hear from you. We are going to be opening up a hashtag that will allow you to submit a video, and in that video, tell your story. Okay, the hashtag is DKS casting, not casting couch. So be aware. I mean, if you want to send one of those, it just your account might be canceled. I just really want to know the who, but I really need to know the why, and I need to know the how you got here. And I'm not a very sentimental person myself.
You're also not very good looking either. And the reason I say that is because just wait.
Say so you're not really going to surprise me very much if you're a single mom of 3 kids and you have 3 different baby daddies and your teeth are probably not going to select you for the show, or if I do select somebody like that, it'll be 1, because I think it is funny that you have 3 baby daddies.
What a wonderful asshole.
Kenneth seems to be specifically opening this opportunity for women. Dr. Kinney's audience was thrilled about this opportunity, and they were told to submit their audition videos via a hashtag, as well as sending their videos and their story directly to Dr. Kinney's social media. Thousands of people were posting their video applications.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm 32 years old, and I lost all my teeth at 23.
I am from a little small town in Kentucky where I grew up. I grew up on a horse farm with my family. I would say my dental problems started there, growing up.
Hi, my name is Madison. I'm 24 years old. I am from Texas, and this is my audition for Dr. Kinney's Smile.
Growing up,
These are all beautiful young girls too.
didn't really take care of my teeth. My mom didn't. I wasn't the greatest.
And even beloved creator Mama Tot, unaware of how terrible of a person Dr. Kinney was, teamed up with him to potentially offer her followers a chance at a brand new smile completely free of charge.
I don't know, like 2 months ago, I think my partials broke. I ended up having to go to this other.
This is Mama Tot that I was talking about at the introduction of the show. This is Ophelia is her name. I really like Mama Tot. A lot of people feel different about her. Of course, she's got a huge platform. So with that comes a lot of people that literally hate her for existing. They have attacked her in every way, shape, or form. I just want to sidebar on that because I really genuinely adore her and think she is doing wonderful things with her TikTok platform. She is a ray of sunshine. She is uplifting. She is a great human being. She is flawed just like the rest of us, but people just cannot handle the fact that she became famous on TikTok.
A dentist spur of the moment. Anyway, because mine could not assist me of getting my partials repaired, and I had like 2 business trips coming up, and I needed my teeth funny. Anyway, Dr. Kinney on here made a video and offered to give me like a whole new smile. I'm okay. I have dental insurance, and if anything the dental insurance didn't cover, my husband or myself would have been able to handle it. I politely declined to Dr. Kinney, who does an amazing job, but I politely declined and offered to give my spot to somebody else who truly needed it, somebody who didn't have dental insurance or didn't have the money, somebody who's been suffering a long time, whatever it is. I said, could you please give my spot to somebody else? And Dr. Kinney says, I'll do that, but I'll give it to 3 people. And he created this thing. He started this contest called Mama Tot Smiles. Lifetime chance, or chance of a life, whatever they call it. And Dr. Kinney's did a beautiful job, and he's a wonderful dentist, and God bless him for what he did.
As these female contestants went.
Now, granted, she's getting a lot of flack right now because she was how some of these people found out about Dr. Kinney, right? Like she did this giveaway. She didn't look into him. I guarantee she didn't look into him. It was a dentist that does great cosmetic work. She offered a giveaway. I guarantee it didn't go further than that. I guarantee she had no idea, and she has said this, she had no clue his past issues with the board, his criminal history. She had no clue. she was just very excited to give her followers a chance at getting a new smile. I can't fault her for that, but seems to be TikTok. There's a lot of people on TikTok wanting to cancel her because they blame her for these women being in this spot. Ma'am, you loud ones over there. This has been going on way before Mama Tut. And unfortunately, she had nothing to do with it. But okay, got to blame somebody, right?
Winners would come into his office.
He
would first embarrass and degrade them, calling their teeth disgusting.
Why are your teeth so ugly?
No, they didn't.
They kind of snuck you in through the back because you're not good looking enough to come through the front.
No.
Yeah.
He likes to make complete mockeries of his patients too.
Those are some bad jokes that you're just rolling with. How true are they?
Oh,
There's all
I'm not gonna deny it.
What kind of boyfriends do you get?
Boyfriends?
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
Why do you think you don't have a boyfriend? Yeah, my work is nice. I make really ugly girls pretty.
Just making them feel horrible about themselves as if they probably already felt that way about their teeth. I mean, they're coming to Dr. Kenny for a life-changing smile. We have also observed Dr. Kenny regularly, even before this contest, making inappropriate comments about his female patients' bodies. Kenneth will also regularly use the R slur in the office in a professional setting, as well on his social media. Go to part 3.
All right, let's get deeper into this. So, some iffy stuff. Things like you're like, okay, we're not really sure what's going on here. All right, now we're gonna
Not only is Dr.
We're gonna stay on Becca's channel though for a minute, and we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this because it goes from, being inappropriate, right, or cracking jokes on them, previous allegations with the board, things of that nature. Well, there's proof, unfortunately.
Dr. Kenny, a predator, he has been actively cheating on his wife for years. This first screenshot is from 2018 between Dr. Kenny and a patient. She sends a picture of her teeth after Dr. Kenny finished them, and he says, "Oh crap." And then she said, "I think you rocked my world. I just told a few people, LOL. It's like kid teeth versus adult teeth." Then Dr. Kenny said, "I'm so impressed with how badass you effing look. Like, can we date?" She said, "LOL, probably have to ask your wife on that one, but hopefully someone who isn't taken has the same train of thought now. I haven't been on a date in a year and a half." Then Dr. Kenny said, "I can't believe, okay, I'll take you out tonight. My wife won't be back till Sunday." This screenshot was from 2019 between Dr. Kenny and a potential patient. After going back and forth about her teeth, he messages her saying, "What's your relationship with your hubby like?" Then says, "Sorry, none of my business." Then she says, "Well, for the most part, good. Why? Marriage is hard sometimes. Oops, didn't mean to do that." Then Dr. Kenny said, "You're fine. Was hoping you'd bring some of that pizza over and watch a late night movie with me tonight. My wife and kids are all out for the night and into tomorrow. And I thought of you for some reason to secretly hang out with." She then responds that she cannot and that she does not think her husband would approve of that. In 2020.
All right, so gets a little bit worse, right? It's building up. He's kind of using his patience as like Tinder app kind of thing, like, plucking through his patience. And you got to remember, this is a process over a time period. Like, you don't just go in his office and the same day get your dental, everything done. You have to go back numerous times. So if you decline this man on his advances, do you think you get your teeth? Do you think you have the same work done? This man holds your smile and the way you look in the palm of his hands for a long period of time. And I don't know about you guys, but for females in general, for humans in general, it is really hard to challenge a medical professional. A lot of people refuse to do it. A lot of people won't do it because it's a position of authority, especially in a dental office. There is the dentist. He's got a couple hygienists, a couple office staff. That's it. He is the know-it-all. He is the end all be all. They own the clinics. They tell everybody what to do. You are completely at their discretion. Everybody in that office. Let's keep going because it's going to just get worse and worse.
2021, a inappropriate video was posted onto Dr. Kenny's page, and a lot of people started talking about it, which prompted this woman named Anna Quinn to share her story. And just to preference, this is not the anonymous victim that we talked about in the videos earlier today, but I do want you to take note and see how similar their stories are. Anna posted in 2021, "This is the dentist that filed my teeth down to nubs while I was numbed and thought they were getting buffed without my consent, and then invited me to his house because his wife was out of town. This dude is scary, and so many people are coming forward about his constant sexual harassment with these women he treats. The other women are terrified to speak up because he's threatened that he knows where they live. But I'm not afraid of this boy, and I will absolutely share with anyone that can help me take his practice down." This pattern of predatory behavior has been working for Kenneth Wilstead for so many years, and enough is enough. I've got more receipts. I'll see you guys in the next one.
And she's not lying. The receipts just keep on receding over here. This is something that I was absolutely floored by. Hold on. Let me grab up the next one.
I don't know how, but it keeps getting worse. Another verified patient of Dr. Kenny has reached out to me to share her excruciating encounters with Dr. Kenny that resulted in her needing surgery by a cardiothoracic surgeon to
pay close attention to what they are going to state here about the complications after this.
remove dental fragments from her lungs. I'm keeping this woman's identity concealed, similar to the other victims that we've talked about so far. This young woman flew out to Texas to have her teeth done by Dr. Kenny in August of 22. Unfortunately, but not shockingly, her first appointment was nothing less than traumatizing. During her appointment, Dr. Kenny's staff, overseen by Dr. Kenny, did mold impressions of her teeth, and they left the mold in her mouth for 10 minutes until it was hardened. When staff went to remove the hardened mold from her mouth, it broke apart inside of her mouth, and this young woman breathed in a fragment of this broken off mold, causing her to aspirate. Dr. Kenny and his staff were all aware that this woman was choking and had reason to believe that there was a broken off piece of the mouth impression stuck in her lungs. But Dr. Kenny and his staff chose to do nothing.
They chose to do nothing. Think about that. They chose to do nothing. Nothing. And they knew all of this was going on.
X-rays didn't send her to the ER despite the fact that she had just aspirated and was in discomfort. They just proceeded with her teeth. Now, this is where we're going to get into some text messages between this young woman and Dr. Kenny. After her appointment, the two took a photo together with her temporary teeth, as Dr. Kenny does with many of his patients. But Dr. Kenny asked this young woman to send the photo to him, likely in an attempt to get her personal phone number. This young woman sent the photo to Dr. Kenny's cell phone, and he later responded with, "Damn, you're hot as F." She did not respond to this, and then Dr. Kenny messaged her later saying, "Hey, just wanted to check on you, see how you're feeling." She did not respond till the next morning, but she was saying she was feeling all right, just some inflammation and discomfort. He then responded with a smiley emoji and then asking if he could push her 8 a.m. appointment back to 8:30 instead. So this was the day after her first appointment, and she was going in to have her teeth looked at to make sure they were all good before she got back on a plane. And then she planned to return for her permanent teeth, obviously. Then Dr. Kenny said, "If I get a undressed photo,
if I get a nude,
I can wake up a lot faster," winky face. She did not respond to any of this, and he just later responded saying, "I'll see you at 8. After these two initial appointments, this young woman flew back home waiting for her permanent teeth to be ready. During this time, Dr. Kenny was sending her a lot of unsolicited messages, including unsolicited videos of him playing with his manhood and just weird videos of himself. I have all the receipts, but I'm running out of time. Go to part 2.
All right. I told you it's going to get worse. And again, huge shout out to Becca Day over on TikTok. She has done an incredible job breaking this all down. Like, incredible job. Please go check her out, sub up to her. I was going to lay out content and like do all, I'm like, hell no, this girl deserves all the credit in the world. Her TikTok, she's got a big TikTok following for a reason. She is absolutely doing great. But this is beyond disturbing. Mormon Church of Latter-day Saints. I expect you to give a statement just as strongly and denounce this Dr. Kenneth Wilstead, who is a devout LDS member and former missionary for the LDS Church. I expect you to handle him and denounce him the same way you did Tim Ballard, because this man is preying on vulnerable patients and holding their well-being in his hands for almost a year, some longer. And then if he doesn't get his way, guess who doesn't get their teeth? Yeah, it just gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse with this guy. And it's a long-standing history. He has current open court cases. One with a female that he pled no contest to SA allegations on top of other things. He is also currently in a civil lawsuit over another doctor who called him out for shoddy work, and he got pissed about it. You can look up all that too. We'll get into that, a lot more of that in part 2, but let's let Becca finish telling us what a creep this fucker is.
While this young woman was waiting for her permanent teeth to be done, she obviously flew back home. And throughout this time, Dr. Kenney was sending her unsolicited videos of his manhood and just weird videos in general. And I'm going to show you some of the weird videos that he was sending. I'm not going to show you the manhood ones, obviously.
Hey, girl. Hope you're having a good day. Just got my hair cut.
This is why I said, and this man isn't even good looking himself. Like, he has this, I don't know, this says creep all over it, but he cuts on other people's looks nonstop. And baby boy, you ain't no looker yourself. You're one of those good from far, but far from good types. You might look car cute when you're passing down the interstate at 90 miles an hour, you know, that type of thing. But I don't know where he got this ego. But the sad thing is he's another person in a position of power that is using those manipulation tactics to prey on many victims.
Miss you.
Oh, Sticky, he's bad. Just wait. We've got proof.
And obviously I got to censor this one a lot, but we can all see what's going on here. And his dog is right there, and his watch, and his ring. Dr. Kenney also began asking this young woman to send provocative photos of herself, undressed photos of herself, and every time she would decline, and Dr. Kenney would begin to call her names and curse at her. When this young woman flew back in town for her final appointment, Dr. Kenney was requesting that she stayed in this specific hotel.
I wonder why he wanted her to stay in that specific hotel. What do you guys think? What are you guys thinking right quick? Tell me what you think while we wait for a moment. Hey, Nikki, is this story new to anybody? Everybody has seen this already. I'm assuming most of you have. This is a big deal. Huge deal. He is absolutely a creep, in my opinion. But his behavior shows it. Did you guys know about this story? Autumn. And just so we're like transparent too, according to the recent statements that have been coming out just over the last couple of days, it is stated that his wife has filed for divorce and that she did kick him out of the house. Do I think she knew about some of it? I don't know. It's hard to say, but I have a tendency to believe that he was probably abusive to his wife and children. There's actually other statements that say there's proof to back that up from his adult children. I feel that she's definitely a victim. I'm very glad to see that she filed for divorce and kicked him out. Like, it is absolutely. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm going up, crazy nurse. If I can find it. There's a lot of comments. Okay, I missed it. Hold on. We had an addiction doctor that was busted at the airport with several pounds of Xanny. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of pill mills. Well, in the Mormon church too, you got to remember that within the Mormon church, the LDS church, it is, as long as they have a prescription for any, whatever they're taking, it could be legal methamphetamines, basically, which is phentermine, in my opinion. I mean, same type of medication in a way, but as long as they have a prescription, it's not against the rules. So they might not drink, but let me tell you, the prescription drug abuse rates in Utah are extremely high. The overdose rate in Utah is really high too, but it's within family sectors and a lot of issues within that. Okay, let's continue on here.
I assume this is where he takes his victims / patients regularly, as it is just down the street from his office.
This is
But
scary
thankfully,
shit.
she had already booked her own hotel, so she declined Dr. Kenny's offer to stay at the hotel that he chose for her. Right before her final appointment, Dr. Kenny sent over coordinates for her to meet him at before they went into the office. From what he sent, it looked like they were meeting up in a Walmart parking lot. Even though she felt uneasy about this, she didn't think she would be unsafe. But when she arrived to the location that Dr. Kenny had sent, she realized that she was at a cemetery. There was no one else around other than Dr. Kenny Smiles. Feeling concerned when she arrived that if she did not get out of her car to see what Kenny was wanting to do, that he would get angry and not finish her teeth. So reluctantly, she got out of her vehicle and walked over to Dr. Kenny. It was unfortunately at this time that Dr. Kenny allegedly kissed this young woman without her consent, grabbed her chest without her consent, and shoved his hands down her pants without her consent. Dr. Kenny then asked this young woman to go to the hotel that he had sent her earlier to go and sleep with him. This young woman declined. She just wanted to get her teeth finished and go home. Fact that this young woman.
So the question that keeps going on and on is, why didn't they file a report? This man had her teeth in the thing that bothered her the most. That's why she flew all this way to see him. All she wanted was to get her teeth finished and done. And she knew as soon as she filed that police report. I mean, you guys, this just drives me nuts when people do this, because I've been watching it all the time. Like, why didn't they file this? The manipulation and the tactics that are used by these people are beyond disturbing.
Would not sleep with him, enraged Dr. Kenny, and the two ended up going their separate ways, agreeing to meet at the office for her appointment. But Dr. Kenny soon called her to let her know that he was going to have to remake her permanent teeth and to come back the next day. The next day, this young woman went in to get her permanent teeth, and she realized that her permanent teeth looked nothing like they were supposed to. They looked nothing like her temporaries, and she was very unhappy with how her smile looked. And even though Dr. Kenny offered to give this young woman her money back, he never did. Go to part 3.
Yeah. Think about this right now. And I want to remind you guys of something as we watch this, because I don't think people are quite understanding how serious this is. Like, I've been watching TikToks and the victim shaming, the victim blaming, all this stuff. This is a man in authority and power who is a medical professional. Yes, he's a dentist, but he is mouth issues, teeth issues, for all of those that struggle with teeth issues. It doesn't matter if it's genetics. It doesn't matter if it's from addiction. It doesn't matter if it's from domestic violence. It doesn't matter what has happened to your teeth. Your face, your mouth is one of the first things anybody sees. So whether it's relationships, whether it is jobs, whether it's anything, your mouth, it is, so many people are so self-conscious of their teeth, their mouths, everything. And dentistry is one of the most expensive things to fix. Plus, it can be extremely dangerous and life-threatening if it's not done properly, because infections in the jaw, as you guys all know. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. But he took them at their most vulnerable stages, vulnerable young ladies going through traumatic issues as is, and had them in his complete control. He is also using gas, nitrous oxide. There is also claims that are yet to be fully substantiated, like with every detail, because I think there's court proceedings on some of these. or charges have been filed on some of these. I was able to vet some of that stuff, but there has been alleged who went in for work, they got the gas on and they don't really remember anything for the next 3 hours. Could they just be easily sedated? Yes. I've never gone to sleep from nitrous oxide personally. I've never fallen asleep that had to be a ton, in my opinion. I don't know what they're actually using in those, but he's not even supposed to be doing something of that nature because of all of his previous issues. So he has somebody else in his office, another dentist. So I want to know who also is complacent in this, because he's got his adult children that work there, his wife. I feel bad for her, but then when it comes to the part of the office pieces of this, when we get into more of this, tomorrow or Wednesday, we are going to look at the office and I'm going to show you the placement of all these cameras. He claims they're for a reality TV show. It is horrifying. So people are like, there's a lot of issues here, and there's so many more people coming forward, but so many people have been afraid to speak out because this guy holds their lives in his hands. Okay, let's go on to the next section right quick. We're going to go on to one more of hers. And again, huge shout out to Becca Day. She did an incredible deep dive on this. I've seen other people like talk about this over on TikTok, and they're nowhere near as thorough as she is. We need her over here on YouTube. Becca, you need a channel on YouTube, because girlfriend, you are damn good at what you do and you are damn thorough. And thank God the victims have a voice like this. That's all I got to say. This young lady is going to do great things.
After all of this and returning home, this young woman reached out to Dr. Kinney's office manager, Kayla, to share what had happened to her in her first appointment with the aspirating and the inappropriate situation that happened with Dr. Kenney. Kayla did not say much to this young woman's situation. She just offered her a partial refund. 9 months later, after feeling consistent chest pain since her first appointment, where she aspirated on a piece of the hardened mold that broke apart in her mouth, she went to a cardiothoracic surgeon where she was x-rayed and told that she was going to need surgery. This cardiothoracic surgeon found a piece of dental fragment lodged in this young woman's lung. I had to blur it out just because I was afraid it might get taken down, but I will put the unblurred version up on my story. A nearly 2-inch dental fragment was pulled out of this young woman's lung, and it was the fragment that she aspirated on at Dr. Kenney's office. Not only is Dr. Kenney a terrible person, he is a negligent dentist, and he needs to have his license stripped ASAP. This man is not safe to be practicing.
100% agreed on that one. Yeah, this shit's scary. That's why I'm calling on the LDS church. I actually already wrote to the newsroom at the LDS church and requested a statement on this specific man. Hey, Matt, I expect the LDS church, because here's another person who, claims to be LDS faith, claims to be sharing the gospel. I'm calling you out, Church of Latter-day Saints. It's time you get ahead of these. It's time you start being transparent, because these people are pushed within the LDS community as great dentists, great this, great that, as they use their power to abuse and manipulate so many people. It is absolutely disgusting. It's not just within the LDS religion. It's sadly across the board, but we are seeing it on an all-time scale right now with the LDS church. Let's do one more that I want to show you guys. And this one is probably one of the worst. Let me find it. It's the actual video of him touching himself. Hold on. This one comes from, just a moment. Okay, Becca Day. Let me make sure which one it is. Oh God, okay. Oh God, she's got so many.
Another woman has come forward to share her uncomfortable encounter with Dr. Kenney. So this woman is a young mother, and she reached out to Dr. Kenny to see if he could potentially fix her teeth. She reached out to Dr. Kenny on Instagram, and he directed her to send photos of her teeth to his personal cell phone. So she does just that, and Dr. Kenny responds, hello, says her name. She responds telling about her teeth, responds hello. He asks which one is the problematic tooth, and she says these two. And then he says, well, shoot, gotta redo those Z-word crowns then. So gotta look into the brand and crap. She then goes on to share some of her insecurities surrounding her teeth, and is just very vulnerable with Dr. Kenny, expressing that she felt that her teeth were really jacked up. So Dr. Kenny responded with a photo from a different patient, just a random patient's photo, saying, this is Jack.
So he is taking other patients' photos. Think about the ethics behind this. This is a medical professional, y'all, that's gone to school, that swears an oath to do no harm. He's taking a picture of another patient and saying, no, her teeth are jacked up, sending it to another potential patient and mocking this. Oh, Autumn, don't worry. We got a whole deep dive coming up of all sorts of stuff. Between this guy, we got so much stuff to cover, y'all. It's ridiculous. I haven't really seen many. I mean, there's some big, huge YouTubers that have talked about this, but there's not many like mid-level, lower-level YouTubers that touch this. So I was like, this is something that needs awareness.
You're good. So saying your teeth aren't that bad, this patient's teeth are really bad. That is totally inappropriate. That has to be a HIPAA violation. Then he says, just got to sock some quality D to get some quality pay, and we are in business. I'll be here all week. Then Dr. Kenny proceeds to ask her about what she does for a living, and she shares with him, and he says, oh yeah, you should definitely move to Texas. And she said, I wish. I'm afraid of big changes, maybe in a few years, LOL. I almost gave up on it after COVID with these stupid SBA loans. And he continues, everything is bigger and better in Texas. Well, when do I get to see your teeth? She said, haha, I can drive out there maybe next month, LOL. He said, yeah, for what are you wanting done besides have sex with me?
Besides have sex with me.
Then he follows it up with, no, can't lose my license. Just good old fashioned F word and rock and roll visit. This woman elected to cut off communication with Dr. Kenny and just take her business to another dentist because this entire interaction was just too weird for her, and I don't blame her. And
what do you guys say? Have any of you ever been talked to by a dentist or a medical professional like that? That's my first question. Has anybody ever gone through something like this? If you feel comfortable saying so. I think it does something to me that these men and women are in positions of power. Now, and it's not just men that do this either. We're going to talk about Lima Bean. That's what I'm going to start calling her. Bitch, they got me down that rabbit hole too. And let me just say, my head is spinning. They have, Amy, thankfully, people have filed their complaints and their grievances with the Texas board, but as of right now, there's no new word. Hopefully this week. I think some of the victims are getting attorneys because he is screwed up majorly on some of these. Oh, Shopaholic, you have. Oh. Yeah, and you guys. Really, Tessa? Oh my gosh. See, I just don't get how these guys, I mean, I do. They're abusing their power to so much. Like, okay, let me go one more because you guys are really into this and then we'll be done with it. Here's two more.
Another young woman.
Let me show this.
Has reached out to share her terrible experience dealing with Dr. Kenny. Hi, Becca. I just wanted to send you my experience with Dr. Kenny. I had contacted him at the end of August to get some work done on my teeth, and I had sent in a video for the new show. He ended up calling me September 8th, and we spoke on the phone.
He told me I looked like a great contestant, but then said, I was looking at your Instagram. Do you weigh more than you used to? Which took me off guard. So I said, yes, I've gained some weight in the last couple years. He replied and said, if you pay for your top teeth and can get down to 125 pounds, I'll do your bottom teeth for free and put you on the show. She then
What does her weight have anything to do with teeth? Can somebody help me? Oh, I'm sure it did creep you the fuck out, Tessa. I'm sure it did. Oh, shopaholic, I can imagine. So that's traumatizing. I'm really sorry. I am really sorry that is one thing I can say. I have never had a medical professional like treat me oddly in that way, but I would also probably punch somebody too. But these people, I mean, no, I probably wouldn't. I would probably just be silent and walk out. Honestly, it's a whole fear thing. It is. These people have their patients like this. And I need to remind you that these people work for us with or without insurance. You have the power. Fire these effers and walk away. Like, this is ridiculous. And her weight has nothing to do with her teeth.
She then shared how that made her feel gross, and she made the decision to not go to Dr. Kenny after that phone conversation. Here's the proof of the phone call from September 8th. Can we just talk about this for a second? The audacity and the gall. If you get down to 125 pounds, I'll do your bottom teeth for free and put you on the show. Did he forget he looked like this? I have no idea where this man finds all this audacity, but anyway, let's move on to the next one.
And look at his smile.
This is another very young woman who came forward and reached out to me, sharing her experience with Dr. Kenny. The situation was a little different because Dr. Kenny reached out to her first. Dr. Kenny found her account and began following her on Instagram. After following her, he reached out to her on social media and shared some of his before and after photos and just said, I can straighten your teeth in a few hours if you want. And this is their first communication. She later responded saying, I've been following you on TikTok for such a long time now and love your videos. I don't have the funds to get my teeth straightened at the moment, but in the future, when I do, I will definitely come to you. I love you and your videos. Then Dr. Kenny said, can you send me a pic of them if you don't mind? Texted me, so this clip got messed up, but I'm just saying that she sent 2 pictures of herself smiling. She followed that up with, but sometimes they look somewhat straight if I manipulate them the right way. My teeth are actually pretty healthy and white. According to my dentist, it's just those few teeth that mess everything up. Then Dr. Kenny said, tell me about yourself. I'm not going to share what was in this message just because it's like personal information. She did not say anything that could have been construed remotely as being flirtatious or anything at all. After that, she said, my dad made a deal with me when I was younger that if I got my diploma, I could get braces, but that unfortunately didn't happen. So I'm on my own with getting my teeth fixed. My other siblings were somehow blessed with beautiful white straight teeth, and I got the crap end of the stick. Then Dr. Kenny sent a video, and unfortunately, she does not have a screen grab of this video, but this is what she said that Dr. Kenny said in the video. This is what she sent me this afternoon. I have screenshots. I wasn't able to screen record the video where he asked me to send undressed photos and he would fix them, but it shows where he sent me a video and I didn't reply because I was creeped out. This was the video in question, but when she did not respond to that video of him asking for undressed photos, he went over to her TikTok and followed her there and proceeded to message her at 11 p.m. saying, do you hate me? We have a lot more to get to. I will see you guys in the next one.
Okay, and just so we're clear, there is videos that have been released of him pleasuring himself and sending the videos to these young girls. Now, from what I've found so far, they are all over the age of 18. I don't know if there's going to be any that come forward that are under the age of 18, but I do want to be transparent on that. So far, it's still disgusting. I don't care, but I wanted to be clear. I have not found any alleged victims that are under the age of 18, but I just barely touched this iceberg. Like, this is a huge, disgusting, revolving mess. We will get into more of this coming up this week because this man needs to be blasted all over social media. Again, huge shout out to Becca Day. Like, y'all, that girl, That girl's got a powerful voice. She's intelligent, and she is giving victims a voice. And that I commend so highly. So please go check out, if you are a TikToker or on TikTok, please go check her out. She does great content. She's a beautiful young girl, and she's giving voices to victims. And that is incredible. And she did get hit with a C&D. In fact, the attorney that signed the C&D has affiliations to one of our ex-presidents. Look. But she actually sought legal counsel herself, and she was able to share some of the cease and desist. She's not concerned about it. She has nothing to be concerned about. The Whistleblower Act protects people like this. That's what people forget too. There's certain things that we can kind of follow over here. So some of these big stories, granted, you just can't go out here and make up willy-nilly stuff about everybody, but there's absolutely proof behind a lot of these allegations. Now, there is some that I'm not going to highlight because there have been police reports that have been filed previously on him in some other situations, and the cops did nothing. They closed the case without even investigating on a young victim. So the cop said it was a he said, she said situation, which is really disgusting and disturbing. And a lot of these girls were so afraid. They took the abuse from him for so long because they just wanted their teeth to be finalized. So they went along with his games. They saw videos from him. Some of them sent risque photos. Just, we were all, I mean, it breaks my heart because this is the typical grooming manipulation tactics that we're watching, and just happens to be another LDS member with a dentist license. Absolutely sassy. Yeah, shopaholic. It's so much worse than this. He has got pending litigation currently. They're trying to actively make sure that the board does something. The Texas Dentistry Board does something. Yes. Yep. Perry. Absolutely. So she's got protections in different ways with this, but this is horrifying, you all. Like, horrifying. We've got so many people out here with these messiah complexes. A lot of them end up from a certain religion or another that use their positions of power to manipulate and abuse so many people. And it's got to come to an end. It's never going to come to an end. Unfortunately, this is endless content. I could highlight a different person every single day because there's so many. It is absolutely disgusting. It's discouraging. And a lot of them get slaps on the wrists. Like, he had a previous lengthy history about all of this stuff. So what do you guys think so far of this? Of course, Susan, thank you. It's so much better than drama, honestly. Like, drama exhausts me, but this type of stuff, a lot of people don't like this type of content because you have to actually research. You actually have to spend the time taking notes and listening to stuff and going and reading stuff. Like, I was sending a couple of my girls, Crazy Nurse, I sent her all of the court paperwork so somebody else could look at it too, because I was like, some of this stuff is over my head with medical things. So I pluck resources and ask people questions, and I'm like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Because it's a lot. There's so much to it. So I have to thank all of my people around me too. I have all sorts of amazing people around me that help me with different things, and they're going for it. Bonafide, me too. So do I. This is what we're doing. This is where we're doing. Yes, Susan, absolutely. Yeah, Peg. Yeah. He's breached so many. Thank you, Tessa. Marcy, not that I can find. I did look, but I could not find any other licenses in any other states. Yeah, sassy since birth. It is. These type of things get swept under the rug. They get swept under the rug so much. Great, thank you. You guys are great. It gets really old, shopaholic. I agree. Yeah, it's wild. And you guys, please go look at Reddit. I'll show you guys. Hold on, let me do that right quick before I forget. Reddit is a great, if you go to Reddit, Reddit has incredible, like, all sorts of stuff. I mean, it gets a little crazy at times too. Oh, and there's also, so another big TikTok influencer by the name of Jessie Lawson. Lawless Lawson is what people know her as. In fact, Jessie was a mutual of mine on TikTok for quite some time, which is really disheartening. But she ended up marrying previous Korn actress Jenna Jameson. And Jessie was going to Texas over and over again to see her buddy, Dr. Kenny Smiles. Well, allegedly, it has something to do with the medication prescribing. Granted, that's a lot of allegations and assumptions by people, but there is a lot on here to like go through. And Becca has been rocketed. Becca is and he also has, okay, so on his background, he's got all of these other names of businesses, and one of them is called Psycho Dentist. I mean, how fitting could that be? How fitting could it be? Becca received a cease and desist. I mean, it is like Redditors are on this shit, y'all. Reddit is going great. So absolutely, Nikki. Yes. Keke, get off the computer. Okay, hold on. Keke needs Keke cam. He's trying to type away here. Come here, buddy. Come here. He wants to sit on the ring light that's right over here. He loves the heat from it. Come here. Okay, they can't see you like that. Come here. Are you just going to hide your head from him? Sir, are you mad today? Come here. Come here, buddy. He just wants Mama to hold him. He says, Mama, hold me. Yes, Tessa, she did. She actually said she came out. She was one of the first ones to pull her support of him publicly and exactly explain why he was being inappropriate. And she even said, look, if these are not, like, if this is somebody in your office doing this, do you know the religious background of Tim Ferreter, who is on trial currently for placing his adoptive son in his 8x8 garage? I do not. Somebody just sent me that story the other day to look into, but I have not had the time to do it. Is it worth it to look into? Let me guess, he's an extreme. Yes, absolutely, Wooddrake. I absolutely will try to get a list together. That's something that a lot of my girls around me probably can help me do, especially with medical stuff. We have some really incredibly well-versed people around us, so I can absolutely try to get a list together. I also want to highlight, because we talk about trafficking, he lived in Arizona prior. You know what's funny? Dr. Kenny's got affiliations in Arizona too. And by the way, there are some incredible dentists and cosmetic dentistries, people on TikTok who are upstanding, amazing. I haven't watched that trial at all. I wonder what it is. Lives in Arizona, then moved to Jupiter, Florida. He's Catholic. And each religion can have extremist beliefs and stuff like that. A lot of times it has nothing to do with the religion as much as the people and their adaptations of their extreme beliefs and how they mask them too. It's unfortunate. Like, you can have a Lutheran that Lutherans are kind of one of the more boring religions, in my opinion. Like, they're not usually that problematic. Okay. I was baptized Lutheran, so I can say that. But they're pretty unproblematic Christians in the big scheme of like organized religion. But you can have people who practiced extremes with anything and they mask it as their belief systems too. He's Catholic. I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it. I don't know if I'll be able to be honest. Those cases with the extreme abuse of the children and stuff really get me. They really get me, because that is a long-term, like, for those of you that are new here, I raised my nieces because of, I've had my nieces for 8 years because of drug addiction and abuse. And I love my sister dearly. Like, I get why she became an addict. Like, I don't fault her for certain things, but abuse, neglect, and abandonment it's a lifelong road. it's not as simple as people make it out to be, that, oh, these kids will be fine. Just like the whole situation with the Frankie children, like these abuse cases are deep. The trial's wrapping up this week. So those type of stories for me become really personal, and I have a real hard time detaching myself from that kind of stuff. So I'm really picky about what I talk about. Now, I do encourage you to go over to Rabbit. We are going to kind of buddy up off of Rabbit for a minute. We're going to talk about soft white underbelly, and we're going to talk about Lima, and we're going to talk about the BAM situation. We're going to get into that. Not yet, but I'm starting my research, and let me just say, what the hell is that insanity? There's missing people. Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard. I have a hard time. So there's certain things that I have to personally like shut off when it comes to kids and abuse and things. Like I have to kind of pull away from. So the first missing case, so you guys kind of know where I'm going, and you can, because I know some of you guys kind of like to research with me when you're bored. The first case, and I really suggest, like, this is a wild one, but let me go over here. Hold on. And we have an adoption story coming up too that I'm going to be telling you guys. Well, actually, I'm going to have a guest come on and tell you guys about. And she was actually adopted in Utah from the Mormon, like into a Mormon family. Amazing family though, like crazy, amazing family. Crap, where'd it go? Where'd it go? And if you have any extra energy to send today, y'all, please say an extra prayer. We have one of my dearest, amazing friends on this app went through a procedure this morning, and she needs all the healing and positive energies. I'm not going to name her just because she hasn't publicly talked about what she's going through yet. So if you could, for one of our Islanders, we've got quite a few Islanders. We've got Lurker's mom, I hope is doing well. Rachel, I hope's healed up well. We've got a lot of people going through a lot right now. So if you could just send some prayers, if you pray, if you believe in praying, if not, energy, good vibes to the Islanders who are going through so much. The case that we're going to talk about is Rachel Nicole Good. Rachel Nicole Good. So it is October 18th marks the 20th anniversary of her missing. She was a young girl when she went missing. She was previously already a mom, but she was involved with an officer, a law enforcement officer, left her friends to go on a date with this guy and has never been seen from again. Guess who was the lead investigator on the case? Him. Guess who had full access to her house and everything surrounding this case for the first 4 days? Him. Guess who didn't disclose that she had a relationship with him? Him. Guess who has used the court system for 20 years to hold up and never have to answer for any of this stuff? Him. He is the prime suspect still to this day, and the family has filed a civil lawsuit on him to try and get him in front of a court. He has found every single thing to avoid it. It is absolutely horrifying. And she was likely pregnant at the time of her disappearing too. That has been something that has been, I'm not going to say his name yet, Claire. Her name, if you look at Rachel Nicole Good, you'll find who it is. Very easy. But he is, yeah. Rachel Nicole Good. Yeah. Scary shit. He doesn't live in the state anymore. He was actually let go. The state took over the investigation, but he never been in a courtroom because of it. And he's avoided every single thing. Warden Arts did an incredible deep dive on this, I think about a year ago, called Brain Scratch Searchlight. It was one of theirs. Hold on, let me tell you exactly the date of it. November 11th, 2022, they did one. Here, let me just share it. I'm going to share it because this is an incredible deep dive. But we're going to talk about that because, like I said, the 20th anniversary is coming up of theirs. There's some of these kind of scare me because some of these people are still out and about. Yes, thank you, Charlie's Project. I love Charlie Project. Yes. Yep, and there's the video that Lord and Arts did about a year ago too, if you want to check that out on Rachel Nicole Good. All right, y'all, I am out of here for today. I got a lot of stuff to do. Tomorrow, I plan on doing content. I just don't know time yet. I have a doctor's appointment. Wednesday, the girls have a doctor's appointment, so I will be doing content those days, but it might be a pre-recorded. I am also going to get back into pre-records now that things are kind of leveling out some. This is our last week of fall break, and then I will be back into kind of normal routine. And we're going to lay out things like still missing Mondays. We're going to have kind of a theme, but this is kind of going to be the content that we talk about. Manipulation, Messiah complexes, people who are using their power and authority to manipulate and harm others. Like, this is a wide arena. Tyler Feller's coming back on this week. We've got a whole deep dive coming on Tyler Feller and more shit there because he needs absolutely extreme pressure. I have been asking, and I wish other channels would help, like, really hit not just like the drama piece or the piece with the other creators. Like, he in himself is extremely dangerous. He, in my opinion, is one of the most dangerous on this app. And that's all I got to say about that. So he will be coming up this week too. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, all of you guys in Canada. Is it Thanksgiving today? Was it last week? I can't ever remember. Really, Claire? That's amazing. Is it Clary, or is it Claire? I always butcher people's names. Crazy cats are in here. Thank you all for hanging out, and I'm going to let her correct me right quick because I always butcher people's names. That's why everybody gets nicknames over here. Don't be surprised. I'm terrible with names, and you'll get a nickname. It is today. Okay. First way. Shit, what did I say first? Just tell me, does it have the Clary or Claire? It's Clary, right? With the E. If it's with the E, just put E. Look at me go. By the time we're all done over here, where is God dang it. The one I called the wrong name. No E, Claire. Okay. The one I called Fireside. I called Fireside for a fucking year, and it was Freeside the entire time. They didn't correct me one time. They just let me go. And then one day I actually looked at it and I'm like, y'all, Miss Leah. I called Miss Leah Miss Lee. But I still will always call her that. That's just what I refer to her as. Yeah, Marcy, it's just a thing. Okay, we can't always be perfect on everything. Names are just right, Al? All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a great week if I don't see you later in the week. Okay, bye-bye.